Hidden Object Guru here with a look at some of the games I sampled in the past week. As always, I'll be rating them out of 10 based on how interested I am in playing more of them. Chromatic Fantasy, a slippery floor puzzle game about dragons trapped in a tower by a mad wizard hell-bent on using them for his insane experiments. The unbelievably cute artwork belies this game's absurdly difficult puzzles. Players don't just have to figure out a way to move a dragon through the dungeon. They have to move multiple dragons, using each one to provide stopping points for the others. This gets really difficult really quickly, and by level 6, getting a gold star on a level meant making 32 perfect moves in a row to solve the puzzle in the shortest possible amount of time. Unfortunately, the game lacks a hint system to smooth out the challenge, so despite the game's super cute monsters, the fairy dragon is especially adorbs. I can recommend this only for puzzle diehards really looking to tax their wits. 5 out of 10. Amazing Breaker. This clever twist on the block-breaking format has players trashing different glass shapes with a variety of bomb types. It's a simple concept. Players just have to keep track of which bombs do what, and then use a slingshot to place them accurately around the level. There's bonus points for creating long chains of bombs and then detonating all of them at once, and levels can't be beaten unless 90% of the glass picture has been shattered. While some of the levels can be frustrating, the game does a great job of teaching players how to use their weapons, so they'll always be able to work out how to use the stage's limited supply of bombs to clear things out. A perfect pick up and play a couple of levels kind of puzzler. 7 out of 10. Spooky Typing The Ghost Plague. While this game lacks a whole bunch of quality of life features, it simply starts abruptly and then players scroll until they die before it just starts up again. The actual gameplay is pretty solid. While it's unfortunate the player has to move with the WASD keys, meaning that they'll accidentally move a little while typing, the attack by typing gameplay works great, and there's enough variety and challenge in the obstacles and enemies to keep things exciting. The only real problem is that it's possible for there to be 2 words that start with the same letter on screen at once, creating situations where the player will start typing a different word than they mean to, which will confuse them and screw up their rhythm. Solid game other than that though. 6 out of 10. Deflection, a virtual version of the popular board game which, although I'm sure it has an official name, I've always thought of as laser chess. This works perfectly, both for 2-player games or against the game's clever AI. I've always enjoyed the physical version of this, and this virtual one, which allows for elaborate bonus towers, portals, and the like, is a great expansion of the game's rules, making this one extremely valuable for reasons other than just how much more convenient it is than breaking out a board game. 7 out of 10. Thatflippingmountain. In an unusually kind move for a rage game, players of thatflippingmountain will get a surprisingly easy to control main character. Every time the player wants to leap from one area to the next, they're given an aiming arc which tells them exactly where they're going to land. The trick is to flip the correct number of times so that their avatar lands on its feet. If they do anything but stick to landing, they'll go flopping back down the mountain until they find the next even surface. Super tight controls make this one of the easiest rage games to recommend ever. 9 out of 10. Aeon Drive. This sadistic platformer has a dynamite setup. A parkour-loving space hero crash lands her spaceship on Earth and is immediately arrested. It turns out that her ship is just 30 seconds away from exploding, and if she wants to keep it from wiping out the city, she'll have to sprint all the way back and shut it down. This entails making the trip one 30-second chunk at a time, with her AI sidekick using baffling futuristic technology to reset the clock each time she makes it a certain distance. The game's original key mechanic, throwing the character's dagger and then teleporting to where it landed, is a welcome twist to the formula, and the level designs are surprisingly open, with the player able to take a number of different paths through each stage, either hunting down collectibles or charging straight for the exit. While it might not be in the absolute top tier of sadistic platformers, it's definitely worth a look. 8 out of 10. That was my week in games. If you'd like to hear more from me, there's buttons coming up to help with that. Or you can always drop by one of the daily streams, 9 p.m. Eastern Monday to Friday, noon Eastern on weekends. See you back here when I've played some more games, but until then, au revoir.